James, thank you so much for joining us today and for being willing to talk with me. I just want to get to know you a little bit better. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your background?
Well, thank you for having me, Sabrina. I was originally a corporate America refugee. I graduated from University of South Florida with a bachelor's in business management. From there, I went to St. Leo University, got my MBA, spent about 3 years in corporate America, decided that was not something that was for me long-term. So started looking for a business that accompanied about a 6 to 7 month search. I really wanted something where I could be in business for myself, but not by myself.
Right.
I'm somebody that I need that support, especially since this was going to be my first solo business venture ever. So I wanted the support of a team, and that's why I chose a franchise. And I've been a franchisee for about 2 years now for a company called the Patch Boys, and so far it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh, that's wonderful. You are the American dream, live and well. It's very cool.
Thank you.
So you have an MBA, and do you think that gives you an advantage in the business world?
To an extent. I always say there's no better education than the street education. So,
again,
street. The street. There's a lot of learning. There's a big learning curve that first 6 months to a year, and I tell any prospective business owners, it's not all it's not all roses and carnations when you get out there. There's going to be a lot of mistakes that are made. You just have to really keep pushing forward, and most importantly, you have to learn from the mistakes. And one of the advantages of being a franchisee is when you do make those mistakes, you have a team that you can call and say, look, this is what I did. What's ways that we can rectify this so we can minimize from this happening again. And I just couldn't imagine being by myself trying to figure it out. I'm somebody who probably could overcome it, but there would be a lot more stress and time involved. So having that support has just meant the world to me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you have certain people that you call on at the corporate offices, or are you assigned to someone? How does that work?
Well, one of the great things about our franchisor is there's a lot of engagement. So it's not just corporate. There's other franchisees that you can call. There's our national training director. So I call on him a lot when I have questions about jobs and so forth. But just as far as the day-to-day operations, I can call another franchisee. We have about 6 in Texas, so very similar markets. So I can call them when I just have general questions about something that's more local. So it's been a big advantage for me. So to have that support, both from a corporate and from a franchisee level.
That's wonderful. So you do that, and you're not planning on stopping doing that, but you're also joining the franchise brokering industry. Yes. So tell me a little bit about how that experience applies to your new industry as a franchise broker.
Absolutely. Well, like I told you, I had about a 6 to 7 month search, and over that time, I probably contacted about 50 different franchises.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I did a lot.
You did a lot of research.
There was a lot of due diligence, but it was one of the most stressful times of my life because unfortunately, I didn't really know what was out there. I was looking in so many different fields. I didn't know, what I qualified for, what I didn't qualify for. Right. So out of those 50 franchises that I contacted, I probably really only was interested in 6 after I got, all the information. And, I went through a certain process with those 6, and 4 of them eventually said, we don't think you're the right fit. And, that's obviously very, very discouraging when you've already been searching for months and you've put a lot of time and energy into it.
Right.
And, eventually I did come down to 2 and I made the decision, but I thought, man, what if there was just a way that somebody could, with much more knowledge than myself, could have helped me through this process. Right. It would have saved me a lot of time and stress.
Right.
So when I learned about the FBA and all the resources that they offer, it was really just a no-brainer for me. I mean, there's thousands of people that are looking for franchises that are going through this type of pain every day. So if, one of the things that FBA offers is they offer kind of a chance to have a guide that, follows you along that process, because you're making one of the most important decisions of your life. I mean, it's similar to buying a house. And if you were to buy a house, most of the time you want to use a realtor. And one of the things that's different from the FBA I found was that just their level of the resources that they have and the process that they implement. Like going back to the realtor example, if you were looking for a realtor, and what if that realtor said, okay, here's 6 houses, go look by yourself. And I found that there are other agencies, they have brokers that aren't educated, and they kind of throw you on an island in hopes, eventually something will stick. The FBA does not do that, and that's really one of the reasons. That was my main reason for wanting to join. They, not only the resources, but just the fact that they have, it's almost like they hold your hand through the entire process. And it's just something that was very attractive to me. Again, it's almost like the support I get from my franchisor. I mean, we are offering that support to our clients. So it makes the decision much easier and a lot less stressful.
Right. That's great. I mean, I think we do pride ourselves on making sure that we are giving valuable resources to our members, because we want those members to give them to the clients. It's all about making sure that the clients are informed, because it is a big investment, and you lived it. I mean, you went through that process and researched and realized that there's a lot of sales lists and salespeople that you get called by, and they're not necessarily seeking your best interests. They're going through a sales process.
Absolutely.
Did you get a lot of calls? I mean, 50 franchises that you reached
can say
out
to. My phone was ringing at all times of the day and night. So
really?
yes. And again, I did speak to a few brokers, but the transaction, it felt more like a transactional sale. And I just thought there's got to be a better process, and I wish I had the services of an FBA broker at the time, because like I said, I probably would have been in business 3 to 4 months instead of the 6 to 7 month range that I was. So it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of pain. So, but like I said, I'm glad I'm here now with such a great organization. I look forward to helping clients in the future avoid the same pain that I had.
Right. I mean, it seems like that is such a real experience for you, that you've kind of been in their shoes and have gone through that. So it makes it easier for you to empathize with them and understand what they're going through.
Absolutely.
So I think that is an invaluable experience. However, it was painful, I know, but it helps you to have more of a stance or a voice whenever you're talking to them, because you've lived what they're going through. So kudos to you for sticking through it and making sure that you got the information you needed, and being passionate about not wanting other people to go through that.
And kudos to you as well for putting out such a wonderful service that makes this process so much easier. I look forward to working with the FBA for many years to come.
That's really sweet. Yeah. So as you join your business, or as you launch your business and you begin the franchise brokering process, what are some of the things that you feel would kind of differentiate you in the marketplace, and kind of focuses that you want to focus on as a broker?
Well, really, just the fact that, like we've been talking about, I've lived the experience that the client is going through. I've had no income coming in for a certain period of time, or I've quit my job, or I can relate to people who've maybe been laid off, and they're really searching for that answer. Again, so that's something that I can personally relate to right away, that I feel may set myself apart from other brokers in the actual market themselves. Just as well as I have extensive background in the service industry, so home improvement, hospitality, things like that. that's generally an area that I like to focus on. I like people that are very personable.
Yeah.
So again, those are hopefully candidates that I will be talking to. So really but mostly just the fact that I've lived in their shoes, and, I know what it's like, trying to find, a needle in a haystack. And I know, again, how extensive that process can be. So I feel like that's my main advantage.
Okay, wonderful. And so is there anything that you would want to tell a client when they go through the process that they should know about you as a person or an individual, and know about working with you, what they should expect?
They need to be, I would say my number one big piece of advice would just be patient. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah.
It's a very extensive process. This is not a process that should take weeks or even a month. It's something that, again, you are making a significant investment. This is something you need to do extensive due diligence. You need to talk to other franchise owners with the concept that you are looking at. It's something that is not, it's a decision that is not made overnight. It's very hard to communicate that to some people, especially if they have no income, coming in. But you not only have to be a good fit for that franchise, they need to be a good fit with you as well. So it needs to be. It's just like a marriage. It's two people that really need to come together, the brand itself and you as the potential franchisee. So patience really is a virtue, and that's my number one recommendation. And because, like I said, I did go 6 to 7 months, but in the end, it's been totally worth it, and there's not another brand I could have seen myself matched with at that particular time. So,
oh, wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting with you. Thank you so much for your time. And I would say that any client who does work with you is in good hands. I think you have the right background, the right understanding of what it means and how to help them be successful. So thank you so much for your time, James.
Thank you so much, Sabrina, for having me.